Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I take you to the era of history, when ancient India was there, when Ashoka as a king was there. He came, he saw, he conquered. A paradigm that Alexander had personified. But then, when there used to be a big samrajya, there was one samrat, the king. The king was the most powerful. And next to the king was the Senapati, the commander-in-chief. Now, if both of them worked in tandem, the samrajya was safe. If both of them worked in different ends, the samrajya invariably was impacted. Ladies and gentlemen, let's replicate that analogy in today's time. In today's time, the samrajya is that of artificial intelligence era. The samrat is artificial intelligence. And the commander-in-chief is cybersecurity. This commander-in-chief is going to be strong. We will make sure that the AI era is wonderfully well and secure. But if it's double cross as far as cybersecurity is concerned, commander is concerned, then to a large extent, you are potentially going to be facing practical problems. With that kind of a perspective, I had some slides. Maybe can we have somebody help me with this, please? Excuse me? Can somebody give me a slide changer? So, by the way, while we get the slide changer, how many of you have not used deepfake? Please raise your hands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 people have not used deepfake. My next question, how many of you have used Quen 2.5 Max of Alibaba? I don't see any hands. Now these are two twin offerings from China that have completely changed the landscape. Why? Because they have brought in far more space, far more productivity, far more efficiency than even the paid versions of ChatGPT. But in the last 24 hours, a lot of developments have started taking place. In America, yesterday, lawmakers have tried to put in the legislature a new law. It's called No Deep-Seek on Governmental Devices Act. That's just basically saying, if you are going to be a government servant and you want to go ahead and put deep-seek on a governmental device, please be prepared to go 20 years into jail, or be prepared to just give $1 million as fine. Now that's the new paradigm that's happening. First and foremost, OpenAI says deepfake is intellectual property rights violation. On the other hand, you have Perplexity, which has started offering DeepSeek as an integral model for the purposes of potential research. So clearly, we have this huge conflict that's going on. I thought I will just quickly like to take some slides on what I see on the horizon. Can somebody help me, please? Is there no slide changer? Okay. Can then somebody help me with the slides, please? Can we go to the next slide? So there's no denying the fact that we are in the data economy age. In this data economy age, AI and cybersecurity are two most important catalysts. And the quicker we start realizing from a legal standpoint, the better it's going to be. Next slide. I'll request the tech team to please have coordination. 30th of November 2022 is the starting day. ChatGPT gets launched. It changes the world. It brings across large number of legal, policy and regulatory issues, and the world is still sleeping. Next slide. We find GPT-4o, a new wave, and we find far more advancement. But today, I find it legacy. Why? Because it was some time back, and now things are moving dramatically forward. Next slide. It's the generative AI that's actually doing the dance today. This generative AI gets the ability to generate audio, video, image, and text. But the legalities pertaining to the same have not been appropriately addressed as we talk. No wonder there's a uneasy marriage between AI and cybersecurity. Much that you think cybersecurity is absolutely guaranteed in AI, you're absolutely wrong. Because Gen AI brings across large number of new risks as we go forward. Deep fakes, only fakes, and now you have new manifestations of these fake electronic records which are created by AI. The fraud GPTs of the world are only assisting cyber criminals to go ahead and breach cybersecurity with ease and finesse. But when NIST tells us that AI comes in with cybersecurity and privacy risks, I think we need to wake up. We need to be sensitized to the immense potential and challenges that wait in this regard. Next slide. Now, problem is when you have cyber criminals which are getting powered by this unique program called Fraud GPT, which is allowing you to conceptualize new kinds of frauds that human civilization has not yet known, you are actually breaking new boundaries. So when they are using now Ghost GPT, which is a new program which helps them to generate new malicious malware, spyware, you are actually entering into a new age as we go forward. So it's not the negative side. ChatGPT is working closely with government in the US to go ahead and fend off cybersecurity breaches. So there's a very intrinsic connection between cybersecurity and AI. But I think that you quickly start realizing as a user that these are connected, the better prepared you are. Otherwise, in Indian ecosystem, Indians tend to be very trusting. What they see is what they believe, and what they believe is what they trust, without realizing that any and none of the AI platforms today have any kind of a practical trust issue involved. By the way, since 4 or 5 people have not raised their hands and everybody else uses DeepSeek, how many of you have read the terms and conditions or privacy policy of DeepSeek? None. There's a recent experiment. So when you ask DeepSeek, are you sending my data to China? DeepSeek says, sorry, I'm not sending your data to China. But there was a recent technical experiment which demonstrated that data packets of all your queries on DeepSeek are getting routed directly to Beijing and are getting routed to an Alibaba company that ultimately is founded in China. So if you want your data to be in Chinese hands, maybe this is a good option. But you would think, I'm an Indian, I'm a normal citizen, how does it bother? I'm a Tom, Dick and Harry. My data is not important. You're mistaken. Actually, the data from a particular jurisdiction is getting collated. Huge big data sets are being made. Big data analytics is being involved, and new insights are coming in on how sovereignty needs to be attacked. And that's why we have now entered into a new phase. Earlier, we used to talk about cyber sovereignty. We are now talking of AI sovereignty. And China, with its laws on generative artificial intelligence, which it launched on 15th of August 2023, has actually now heralded this new concept, where they say, look, my sovereignty just does not extend to my territorial boundaries. It extends to the entire of AI ecosystem, whether your AI algorithm is within my territorial boundaries or not. You may be anywhere, but the moment your AI algorithm is offering services to me or my citizens in my jurisdiction, I will assume jurisdiction, my law will be applicable. So it's a very fascinating new concept that's begun to start coming in. Next slide. So clearly when cybersecurity law is developing, it's getting a bit slow. I look at all the cybersecurity laws in different countries, whether it's China, Vietnam, Singapore, Australia, and I find that none of the cybersecurity laws have actually dealt with this entire issue of cybersecurity in the AI ecosystem. 2 days back, Australia has now banned the use of DeepSeek on governmental devices. But that's in a separate standalone scenario. I come to India and I'm clueless. Why? India doesn't have a law on artificial intelligence. India doesn't have a law on cybersecurity. We have not yet made up our minds as to what we need to do in terms of protecting and preserving cybersecurity in the AI ecosystem. Clearly, I think we have to be positive and negative at the same time, be prepared for the positive, be using the positive, but eventually, as a cyber resilient mind, be prepared by the negative consequences of misuse of AI in cybersecurity. Next slide. Next slide, please. So, The problem is when I'm actually now going to be using cybercrime as a service powered by artificial intelligence behind the cloak of the darknet, I'm effectively using an invincible phenomenon. Why? Because law enforcement agencies don't have the wherewithal to break the darknet. Assuming they break the anonymity on the darknet, they at best will ultimately go to an AI algorithm. And trying to join the AI algorithm to a human actor is going to be a humongous task. We are all in the system of proven justice. We will have to prove through cogent electronic evidence that this is the human actor that was behind the AI that was leading to the attack or breach in cybersecurity. It's a very, very tall game. No wonder cyber criminals and cybersecurity breachers are laughing all the way to the bank. Next slide. So the problem is you use the positives, use AI for helping us identify your vulnerabilities in your system wonderfully well, but please realize the AI model that you use for identifying those vulnerabilities is also taking the same data away. Look at any AI model and they say whatever information you give me, I'm going to make it as part of public data. I'm going to use it for training purposes. So we should not have any expectation of any privacy in this new age of cybersecurity and AI. Next slide. Thank you. So the problem is this combination of AI, cybercrime, cybersecurity is getting more and more difficult. AI crimes have become huge in the country. Look at today's times. It's not just digital arrest, it's deepfakes and stuff like that that is of paramount significance. But the cybersecurity of AI as a paradigm is an aspect that none of the service providers are dealing with. They don't tell you how secure is my AI. They don't tell you what kind of a cybersecurity parameters have I actually implemented to make my AI platform more secure. So I think we will have to be taking it with a pinch of salt. My problem is we are Indians, we love Bollywood films. And we think of these dreams, right, that come out in Bollywood films. And we think that this AI is the next big dream, the new magical wand, the Jadoo Ki Jhappi, that you will push that magical wand, give the Jadoo Ki Jhappi, and everything will be fine. Sorry, it's not getting fine. It's getting more and more messier. It's getting more and more difficult as we go forward because a breach in Gen AI could potentially be taking a problem. How about bias in AI? Nobody's impacting or examining the role of bias in cybersecurity and AI. My AI ecosystem is built on big data sets. My big data sets are compromised, are, shall I say, corrupt, and lo and behold, the bias is going to come long and behold. So corporates, don't be in a hurry to jump into the AI bandwagon. Think about the cybersecurity ramifications as you go forward, because this is going to be of crucial significance. It's a double-edged sword. Let's recognize it's a Rampuri knife. It's going to be used both for cutting vegetables and also for purposes of murdering people. And therefore, quicker we get prepared for the AI arms race in cyber ecosystem, the better it's going to be. Well, attacks are happening, new attacks are coming in, new attacks are getting generated by AI. And that effectively means that governments now can't sit back in peace. No wonder there's a massive panic attack post DeepSeek. Almost large number of countries want to ban it. Banning helps? Definitely not. Use a VPN, download the same, and lo and behold, you're on good wicket. But I think the risk mitigation and risk management approaches is what's going to be crucial as we go forward. Countries still have done nothing. Countries have come up with some national policies and strategies. None of them have binding effect. This is the list of countries who already have dedicated legal frameworks on artificial intelligence. But it's ultimately the European Union that's taken the thought leadership by coming up with a dedicated EU AI Act. China came in much later, but European Union example was followed by New York. We have a specific law on AI in New York. But finally, I think these generative AI measures of China are redefining the way how things are looking at. These are telling us anything that any AI company does in China, any data will have to be mandatorily shared with Chinese agencies as we go forward. In India, we still have the Indian Cyber Law, the Information Technology Act to guide us. 25-year-old legislation silent on AI. We still don't have the IT rules 2021 applicable to AI. We have now the DPDP Act, but even that does not refer to the artificial intelligence. The draft DPDP rules are silent on issues of this. So we have two models to choose. One is the China state control model. One is the European Union model. Which model will India adopt in this age of cybersecurity is something. But ultimately, be prepared. Things are not ending there. In the next few months, we will see the emergence of superintelligence. This is as a result of a new project that OpenAI has launched called the Superintelligence Alignment Project. This will supersede the cumulative intelligence of humanity as a race. Now, once we are looking at that, the need for legal guardrails becomes a topmost necessity. Adopting cybersecurity becomes the need of the hour. And ultimately, let's remember, we are in a no man's land. No international cybersecurity law in place. Different countries are coming up with their own laws in cybersecurity. It's like 5 different blind men trying to describe and decipher what is irrelevant. So the different approaches are getting writ large as we are actually going forward. Ultimately, we are walking towards a new cyber world era. A new cyber world order where the cybersecurity breaches are going to be the new normal and cybercrime is our daily companion. Today, jurisdiction will be an issue. I lose my data on Gen AI. Where do I sue? When, where, how? DeepSeek says, come to China and sue me. OpenAI says, come to America and sue me. I'm in India. Can Indian courts assume jurisdiction? Issues that have still not been addressed as we go forward. Challenges that are immense, and I think we require national doctrines so as to postulate Indian legal position on this entire position. So, outdated laws, we need to update. Liability, we need to determine. Authenticity, accountability, transparency, very important. Privacy, crucial, that we have to address. And finally, ethical considerations are going to be essential. This can only happen by an adaptive framework, come up with more interactive international cooperation. And finally, you can't let the private sector go out. The PPP model will be the foundational model as we go forward. Ultimately, it will be a holistic approach that will have to deal with us. We are in a fascinating area. All I can currently say is that everybody will have to start contributing in coming up with new approaches to deal with the issues of challenges in cybersecurity and AI. And ultimately, this is not on. Let's finally realize we are actually riding a running tiger and we cannot get off the tiger. So quickly, we are able to calibrate our thought processes as we go ahead and do the tiger ride. That's what's going to be of crucial significance. This is just a platform that we created, Cyber Law University. I have done 37 courses online, done by 32,000 professionals, 176 countries. Basically, these figures are telling us the need for capacity building is immense. And I think that's what has to be there. Let's quickly realize the holistic impact of AI, cybersecurity in this new age upon us. And let's quickly start addressing these issues. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.